What can we expect from the greatest of all time, Nick Saban, and how he's going to operate this Alabama program going forward? Because I truly believe that there are some things on the horizon that are going to make the 2023 season for Alabama look differently than it did in 2022. And if you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, then you know what happened last year was, in a lot of people's minds, a success, but not in your mind, not in what the standard is in Tuscaloosa. You win national titles, you win the SEC. We'll take New Year's Six Bowl victories, that's fine, but that's not what we come to Tuscaloosa for. That's not what we root for on Saturdays, all right? We root for national titles. So, as a result of that, you're starting to see some staff changes. Yes, I said starting. Pete Golding, defensive coordinator at Alabama, is now the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss. I don't believe the staff movement is done. Bill O'Brien is a name that continues to get thrown around on message boards and Twitter circles and rumor mill. We'll see if he stays the offensive coordinator. I would keep an eye on that. But even if Bill O'Brien is the OC, I think within this staff, you're going to see some movement. Guys that were on the staff last year will not be there this following year. And the reason why that will be is because you know how much talent you have in-house. You know there is guys with tons of stars next to their name. They recruit so well at Alabama. You have your pick of your litter, pretty much, to who you want to get from the high school level. To have that much talent and to underachieve by your own standards, the reality is it's probably not on the players. Like, yes, it's on the players to the degree of they're the ones actually executing on the field, so I don't want to excuse that. But what we saw last year from Alabama was a structural issue, was an approach issue. And who's responsible for the approach? The coaches. The coaches are responsible for getting the players ready to attack the way they need to attack, to be in the right position, to execute the way they need to execute the way they are required to execute. So I'm not saying that the players don't have the responsibility. They absolutely do. But I think what we saw last year was an approach issue that starts, to me, at the coaching staff level. And it's not Nick Saban's fault. I'll say that. I don't think it's a Nick Saban approach issue. I think it's at the staff level. So keep an eye on some more movement in Tuscaloosa on the coaching staff. If you're not already subscribed, we would love to have y'all. Would love to have you at the party. College football, 365 days a year is the reason we have this job. We're kind of covered accordingly, all right? We're not taking any days off. Make sure you're locked in with us. Also, if you're not already following me on the socials, at JD Piquel on Twitter and on Instagram, a great way for us to do more of what you want to see on this show. Another thing you can expect to see from Alabama as we get closer and closer to the start of the 2023 season, there's going to be a second transfer portal wave of guys post-spring, where they're going to go test the waters and maybe they find out from their other program that they're not going to have the role they wanted or they're not happy with the new coaching staff. Whatever it is, a myriad of situations for why you will have other big-time names in the transfer portal, and Alabama, I believe, will be active. And I say active in the sense that they're going to be surgical to where they're going to get guys that fit their system, that are a high caliber, that help them fill a need. It won't be the overhaul that you see from different programs. It won't be the let's add 10 transfers, let's add 15 transfers. It's going to be we like 2 or 3 guys that help us at this position. They're going to help us next year. Let's add them. Much like you saw this past season with Jahmyr Gibbs, I think it'll be that same kind of strategy. The position that I'm looking at is the safety position for Alabama, to acquire somebody through the portal. You probably have someone really talented in-house that could fill that role, but you lose both Brian Branch and Jordan Battle, guys that were studs for you, and they're going to make a lot of money in the NFL. And the secondary was the Achilles heel last year. Let's just be real. I mean, the Achilles heel of this team was the secondary. The ball's in the air, and you had time and time again the defenders being either out of position or tugging on jersey, getting a pass interference penalty. And I think the corners will take the next step. Both Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold, I believe, are guys that will progress and be at the standard level for this coming year. But the safety position, you're asking a freshman to play. Whether it's Jake Pope, whether it's Caleb Downs, you're asking a freshman to fill one of those safety positions. So I believe Alabama will be surgical and be on offense in acquiring defensive secondary talent. So keep an eye on that, because that's the next move that I think you will see as they continue to progress throughout this offseason. That'll be post-spring, But keep an eye on that. I really think the secondary will be a place where they address. So maybe you take a step back and you say, well, why is there major changes that need to be made? Why do we need to address the staff? Why do we need to address the roster? Nick Saban's the greatest of all time. I trust Nick Saban. Yeah, me too. I'm with you. I think that's fair logic to apply here. But with all of the talent they have in-house, with how well that they recruit, with how well that they're able to put guys on the field that should beat the opposition, to be quite frank, I think the issues you're seeing at Alabama are issues that you can't just account for through talent. Like if talent was the name of the game, Alabama's probably sitting pretty. They're probably sitting pretty regardless this coming year, even without these changes in terms of how far they can get. But to win a national title, there needs to be changes structurally. There needs to be changes in the way that they do things, getting back to having that old Alabama edge. And so whether that's acquiring guys that are going to help you in the secondary that have that edge, whether you're acquiring guys on the staff that are going to have that edge, those are the two areas that I'm looking at most closely for Alabama. Because it's not a matter of ingredients. It's a matter of the recipe. The ingredients are top shelf. You got great ingredients. Like I said, I think you could add a safety, but the ingredients are very good in-house in Tuscaloosa. The recipe isn't bad. It's not keeping you from being still an elite football program, but it is keeping you from achieving what your standard is. We've said it before. We'll say it again. The standard of Alabama is national championships. And I believe they're going to tweak that recipe just a little bit to get the right flavor and to get back to the national title prowess. We appreciate you locking in with us. This has been the Hard Count. Nick Brake lifting heavy. Everything you see here from my main man, we're locked in 365. They're not playing games. We're talking college football still every single day. So we appreciate you rolling with us. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Pickell if you haven't already. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.